여러분, 보이세요? 음, 보이시나요? Can you see me? 안녕하세요. Better? 나아요? 괜찮아요? 괜찮아요, 이제? Now it's working? 이상해요. So I scheduled live and stuff, and that was having weird errors, but I just went straight live and it's working, which I couldn't put any details, the title, links to other videos. So we'll just go plain today. 오늘은 타이틀도 없고 타이틀도 없고 밑에 description도 없어요. Freestyle. So we'll just go this way and I will add afterwards, I guess. 어서 오세요. Please come back everyone. 제발 돌아와 주세요. 아까 계시던 분들 돌아와 주세요. Everyone who used to be here, please come back. 계시던 분들. 네, 안녕하세요. Better? 좋아요, 좋아요. 제발 돌아와 주세요. 아, 보이실 수 있어요. Okay, so you used honorifics there. 송이송, 혜인님. But you're saying I can see you. So when it's you, the subject, we do not use the 의시 honorifics. So you can just say 보여요. You are seen to me. I can see you. 보여요. 지금은 낫습니다. 다시 왔어요. 탈리아님, 보니님 어서 오세요. 유림님 어서 오세요. 다 괜찮아요 이제? 좋아요 여러분. 왜 그런지 모르겠어요. So YouTube is not liking the low bit rate that I'm using through software, but if I raise it, it's lagging like earlier. So maybe after today's live, I will look into it. 저는 컴퓨터가 싫어요. I hate computers. 안녕하세요. 죄송합니다. I'm trying to make sure. 네, 좋아요. That's a good try. That's a good try. How we learn in general anything is we learn something new. Look at children. They learn a new concept. Humans learn a new concept and we apply it to everything we see. And then we know it does not work in every situation. So we modify and take it back from certain examples. That's natural learning process. 자연스러운 학습 과정이에요. Now it's working perfectly. I know. Apparently, it doesn't like me to increase the bit rate that's showing the warning about and ignore it. Okay, 그러면 여러분, let YouTube do whatever its thing. And we'll move on. 우리는 우리의 공부를 할게요. 오늘은 던, 어떤 공부할 거예요. So 던 or 어떤 is what we put after adjective or verb stem. So 동사, 형용사 뒤에 와요. 그리고 noun, 명사를 꾸며줘요. It decorates, modifies, describes the noun that comes after. So if you change verbs and adjectives to 던 or 어떤, you must put a noun afterwards. 뒤에 명사가 와야 돼요. And this is noun modifying form, how we change verbs and adjectives to describe nouns. So you have to know the basics of noun modifying form. If you don't, please study that first, which I had in the link. I'll add it later and then come back to this video. 그리고 I have a self promotion. self promotion 좀 할게요. I have my online classes open, which will start mid-February. 2월 중순에 시작하는 수업이 있어요. Beginner, high beginner, low intermediate 수업이 있어요. Beginner는 we are learning present tense, past tense, 을 거예요 with daily activities to wake up, to sleep, to eat, to do something, to read, and such. That's beginner. So if you studied Hangul and you don't know where to go, this is it. Hi beginner, we talk about have you done this? I want to do this. I must do something. And then also how to make complex sentences. Low intermediate. 이게 아마 여러분의 레벨일 거예요. This is probably a lot of your level today. You know how to make complex sentences. You've learned a lot of different endings. You covered basics. And then now you want to talk about different topics. You want to practice. So this is the class you come to. Low intermediate이에요. 본인님, I've been to these classes and I totally recommend it. 감사합니다. I feel a little confident that people are mostly satisfied and happy with classes, and I give personal feedback, one-on-one feedback to your speaking. Homework is all about listening and speaking, and that's what people love as well. So please consider joining my classes. And Owen님's question, nothing advanced. So that's my next session. So my next session will be at the end of May. In spring, we have parents coming. 저희 부모님이 한국에서 오실 거예요. My parents are visiting from Korea, so my spring is my family time. Once they go back to Korea, 한국으로 간 다음에 라이브가 아니고 수업을 할 거예요. So end of May to end of June is my next online class, and I will have mid to high intermediate. And this is the tricky, 여러분. Mid to high intermediate, now people have really different strengths and weakness. So it makes it a little more difficult to make one class, but I'll try to do something about that. So mid to higher intermediate for sure. Advanced is better when you do one-on-one, I feel like. So here you go. 새로운 도전을 합니다. I'm taking on a new challenge. One-on-one practice session을 할 거예요. 30분이에요. 30 minutes. So it's short. And I recommend this to somebody like all of you here. You learned basic stuff. You have specific questions now. You want to practice specific things. I need an actual teacher. Or I want to practice speaking to see if I'm using everything properly. 그쵸? 그러면 이 one-on-one 1대1 아마 연습 수업이 도움이 될 것 같아요. So I recommend this for people who are high beginner and above. And this coming week, next week, I'll announce everywhere. There will be some sessions in morning for Eastern time zone and some evening sessions for Eastern time zone. And this is just, you can sign up however many, whatever schedule that works for you. But it's set time. Like certain time, if it works for you, sign up. This is trial. It's the first time I am doing this. And I will see if many people actually like this. And I will also see if this is sustainable for me to keep doing it. And again, I am not going to have this all year around. I'll have like 6 weeks, which I recommend people to sign up for at least a couple weeks to constantly practice, and then I'll bring it back in a month or two. 이거는 막 파워포인트 이런 수업이 아니에요. This is not like PowerPoint class. 이거는 조금 casual하고 customized. 사람마다 다를 거예요. So I'll announce this. Pay attention to my announcements. Okay. 너무 길었죠? That was so long. 그쵸? Now let's get to the actual thing. 탈리아님 감사합니다. 좋은 시간 보낼게요. 혜인님 쌤이 비디오 많이 보고 정말 기분 좋아요. 감사합니다. 스테파니님 1대1 오세요. 보니님도 1대1 오세요. 송이송님 어제 먹던 치킨 죽을 닭죽을 이따 먹을 거예요. 오 좋아요. Perfect usage of ton. 자, 영어는 이렇게 하죠. You probably all know. But in case there are people who are a little beginner here. 자, in English, noun. And then who, that, which. And then the sentence description. 한국어는 반대예요. The Korean language is opposite. 그쵸? So in English, the guy who I used to like in college. 그런데 한국어는 저 사람이 or 제가, that kid over there, if you are same age and you used to be friends, 제가 대학교 때 좋아하던 사람이에요. So in Korean, you describe everything first and you change the verb or adjective to 은, 는, 던, and then put that particular noun that you are talking about. 그쵸? 그러면 해볼까요? 연습해볼까요? Shall we practice? Okay, so when we look at the dictionary form of all the verbs, it's stem plus the dictionary ending, 다. And, you know, the regular noun modifying form, we change verbs to는 먹는 음식 이렇게 하죠. But today, we are using 던 before noun. Okay, so it is still a noun modifying form, 그쵸? How you change verbs and adjectives before nouns to describe the noun. This 더 part, so this 니은 part comes from the noun modifying form that all ends with 니은 받침. 근데 더가 있어요. There is 더. 이거는 retrospective. You're recalling memory about the following noun that you are talking about. So 던 is only used for the past memory. 옛날 이야기예요. 추억, memory. 예요. 알겠죠? 자, 볼게요. Okay. 오늘은, so today, let me stand up so I'm not like blocked. Okay. 오늘은 연습하기 위해서 간단하게 비교할 거예요. Today, for the learning purpose, to practice will simplify them. 자, 먼저 여기 차트 있어요. Screen capture. 왜냐면 you can use this as your reference in the future. 그쵸? When you are confused, if you just use 던 before noun, most important thing is this, 여러분. 이게 제일 중요해요. 던 is incomplete and ongoing action. In that case, you can only use 던. And we're going to look at all of this today. Don't get overwhelmed right now. Contrast that. 반대로 어떤, 어떤은 only used when it's complete. 다 끝났어요. Bygone, 옛날, 지금은 아니에요. No longer relevant. 예요. Another difference is 던 is only used when that action was happening for a long time period. Continuous. Not one specific time. Okay? So, look at this. If you are saying 어제, specifically yesterday. 오늘 아침에, specifically this morning. At that very short time, you cannot use 던. You have to use the past tense. 았어요, 없어요. 어떤. all the others, you can use both. Let's make it easy. Oh, I'm recalling memory when I used to be so little and blah, blah, blah. Or the school I used to go and stuff. Use both. 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. Just remember, done didn't finish. Or it was for a long time. Okay? At done, 어떤. This at or ot is past tense, right? 먹었어요, 잤어요. That past tense is also used as completion. We finished. So it's only used when it's finished. Okay? And then it can be either for a long time if it's done or at a specific time. Whereas done cannot be used for an action that happened specifically at this moment. That's the biggest difference. 괜찮아요? 그러면 볼게요. If you purchased my workbook, this is workbook 2 chapter 1. 제 워크북 샀으면 워크북 2 챕터 10이에요. 있어요. 그거 보면서 같이 공부하세요. You can look at that and study with it. Okay. And this level right now, what we are studying is low intermediate. If you want to take my class and this kind of grammar is what you have hard time with, come to low intermediate. We actually study done and talk about past experience and such. 그쵸? 아직 잘 되고 있나요? 지금 스트리밍 잘 되고 있나요, 여러분? Is it streaming well? Now I'm paranoid. 이제 걱정돼요. 잘 되고 있어요? 어때요? 자, 먼저 이거 볼게요. Recalling memories. Use both. This is the trip I took. You know, do you remember that place we went? Use both. Oh, good old days. Use both. 둘 다 괜찮아요. 오케이, 스트리밍 괜찮아요, 괜찮아요, 좋아요. 자, 그래서 좋아하다, to like, 그쵸? I want to say, this is the music I used to like in high school. Not anymore. But when I was a high school student, I used to like this. 그러면 you can use done. 좋아하던 something. Easy. Just use both. 좋아했던 something. 둘 다 괜찮아요. Okay. Technically, linguistically, textbook-wise, it has to be 좋아하던. 근데 real language use. 사람들이 써요. Use this. So, who cares? From learning perspective, both are used, both are natural. So when you're just talking about the past memories, use both. 알겠죠? 그러면 보세요. 고등학교 때 제가 좋아하던 음악은 힙합이에요. 고등학교 때 제가 좋아했던 음악은 힙합이에요. Implication, what it means. 지금은 다른 음악을 좋아해요. Okay? 고등학교 때, high school time, 제가 좋아하던 음악, the music that I used to like is hip-hop. That means 지금은, for now, 다른 음악, different music, other music, 좋아해요. I like different music. No longer like hip-hop like I did in high school. That's what it means. So, used to do something. You just use both. 오웬님's question. What about 좋아한? 괜찮아요. 고등학교 때 제가 좋아한 음악은 힙합이에요. So I would translate that as the music I liked in high school. That could mean I still like hip hop. it's simple past tense. 근데 더는 지금은 아니에요. But if you use 던 instead of the regular past tense 좋아한 음악, if you say 좋아하던 음악 or 좋아했던 음악, it implies that's no longer your favorite music. Not anymore. Used to. So both 던 or and 어떤 어떤 have this meaning of used to. No longer. 예요. Okay? 먹던 죽 먹으려고 했는데 마음이 먹어가지고 샌드위치 먹을 거예요. 마음이 먹었어요? 마음이 누구예요? 누가 먹었어요? Another example. 자, 다니다. Now this is a word that we use a lot with 던. Because 다니다 is to attend as in school or your work company, your affiliation. So this is the school I went. I used to go. You graduated. You no longer go to school. 지금은 학교 안 다녀요. 저 옛날에 다녔어요. 지금은 안 다녀요. 그럼 던 써요. 그래서 다니던 학교, school I used to go. 회사, company, work I used to go. Can I say 다녔던? Yes, because you used to, not anymore. If you are saying I used to go to this school, you're already implying I don't go anymore. 지금은 안 가요. 둘 다 괜찮아요. 그냥 옛날 이야기 해요. 둘 다 쓰세요. If you're just talking about memories, just use both. That's fine. 그래서 볼게요. I quit the company I used to work for and I am in the middle of preparing a new kind of work. 다니던 회사, the company I used to be affiliated with, that I used to work, 그만두고 새로운 일 준비 중이에요. 그쵸? 이렇게도 괜찮아요. 다녔던 회사, 이제 안 다녀요. Done, both are okay. 다녔던 회사 그만두고 새로운 일 준비 중이에요. 둘 다 괜찮아요. Implication is 지금은 그 회사 안 다니고 있어요. Again, the meaning of used to. I used to work there, not anymore. 지금은 안 해요. 여러분 질문 볼게요. Thank you. That's well explained. 감사합니다. 중학교 때 제가 안 좋아하던 우유예요. 지금은 가끔 우유를 마셔요. 아, 중학교 때는 안 좋아했던 우유를 지금은 가끔 마셔요. 좋아요. 마음을 먹어요. I made up my mind. 그죠? 마음을. I am the subject. So, 마음 is the object that I ate. 오웬님, but the table said 던 was still ongoing thinking. Okay, 좋아요. I will give you that example. So, 던 is used for this. So, for talking about memories used to in English, you can use both 던 and 어떤, 어떤. Okay? When something got interrupted, it was going and it didn't finish, and it got interrupted, then you can only use 던 and cannot use 어떤. That's the difference. And I will show you the examples. That's the difference. That's what I meant. So 은 and 던 should be similar. Actually, 은 and 어떤 are similar. Let's look one by one. Okay. So when no longer valid and it's bygone, just use both. Okay? And here you go. If it was still going and got interrupted, you can only use 던, not 어떤, 어떤. That's the difference. So just memories, use both. 하나 더 볼게요. We'll look at one more thing. 사귀다, to date. And also the examples I brought are the ones with the verbs that we use a lot with 던 or 어떤, and the sentences that people use a lot with 던 and 어떤, another tip is you can memorize this and use them and get a feel of it over time. 그렇죠? 자, 사귀다. Here, not to make friends, but to date is what we are talking about. So you can just change 다 to 던. 사귀다, 사귀던 사람, 사귀던 남자, 사귀던 여자. You can also say 사귀었던 사람, 사귀었던 사람, 사귀었던 남자, 사귀었던 여자. The person I used to date. I used to be in a relationship with. 예요. 옛날에 내 ex. 그쵸? 전 남친, 전 여친 이야기 할 때 던. 사귀었던 사람이야. Now he's nobody to me. 이렇게. 여러분, 사귀던 사람 우연히 만나본 적 있어요? 옛날에 사귀던 사람 우연히 만나본 적 있어요? The person you used to date accidentally, coincidentally met up, so ran into. Have you 본 적 있어요? Have you run into your exes, basically? Have you run into the person that you used to date? Again, used to, you can just say 사귀었던 사람. 옛날에 사귀었던 사람 우연히 만나본 적 있어요? Implication, 지금은 헤어졌어요. Now you are already broken up. X예요, X. 사귀었던 사람이에요. 이렇게. 옛날에 사귀었던 사람 우연히 만나본 적 있어요? 저는 없어요. 근데 너무 싫을 것 같아요. I've never run into my exes, but I think I would hate it. Really hate it. 볼게요. Fig Tree님, you are such an awesome teacher. 감사합니다. 그리고 what's the difference between 던, 어떤, and 하고는 했다? Oh, actually 하고는 했다. We study in low intermediate class. So 던, 어떤, you need to use before nouns. You cannot finish sentences with it, right? 고는 했어요 is just I occasionally did this and that. Not all the time, but occasionally. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. So you can use both to talk about memories, but a little different nuance. 고는 했어요. I used to this and that sometimes. 모쏠이에요. 진짜? 유림님도 사귄 적 없다. 탈리아님도 모쏠이에요. 그러면 이제 사귀세요. Now you can go explore the world. 저도요. 오해님도 없어요. 저 사귀던 사람 안 만나고 싶어요. I don't want to run into my exes. 저 here. 그렇죠? No longer valid. Bygone. Use either. You're no longer dating that person. 사귀던 사람, 사귀었던 사람 둘 다 괜찮아요. Both are okay. 자, here. Another usage that we use 던 or 어떤, is have been for a long time. I've done this for a long time. I've wanted this for a long time, but not anymore. So again, that used to meaning 이제는 아니에요. That's the commonality. 그죠? 이제는 아니에요. 이렇게 볼게요. Again, still you can use both. 원하다, to want something, 그쵸? 원하던 something, 원했던 something. 이렇게 말해요. The noun that I have been wanting, but not anymore. Maybe because, have you had these occasions? 여러분 이런 적 있어요? 계속 인터넷 쇼핑을 해요. 이 원피스 너무 예뻐. 이 옷 너무 예뻐서 너무 갖고 싶어. I really want it. 근데 don't make an impulsive purchase. right? And then the next day, I'm fine without it. I don't want it anymore, right? Or you want it 너무 갖고 싶었어요. And you finally got it. So you don't want it anymore because you have it. You don't have to want it anymore. Either way. 그쵸? 그때 쓸 수 있어요. 그래서 이렇게. 자, 친구가 향수 선물 줬어요. Your friend gave you a gift of perfume. Okay, so when you received the perfume gift, this is the perfume I've been wanting. This is exactly the perfume that I've been wanting. 이렇게 해요. 딱 제가 원하던 향수예요. Again, listen. If you just use 던, it has to be a long period time. Okay? 그래서 원해요. I've wanted for a long time. So you can use 던. Check. You can also use 원했던. Done. Gone. Because I have it now. I don't have to want it anymore. 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. So again, have been for a long time and no longer, you can use both. Just like memories. Old days. Not anymore. 똑같아요. 그쵸? 딱 제가 원했던 향수예요. 이거 진짜 원했던 향수예요. 원하던 향수예요. 둘 다 괜찮아요. 남자친구가 필요 없어요? 필요 없으면 싱글 좋아요. 솔로 좋아요. 빛이 나는 솔로. 그쵸? 자, implication. 지금은 갖게 됐어요. You came to have it. 그래서 더 이상 안 원해요. So I don't want it anymore because I have it. 그러면 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. You can use both. 자, the reason why you can use both, wanting it lasted for a long time, which qualifies for 던. Not a specific one moment, but for continuous momentum. And it realized that's no longer valid. In the past, wanting ended because I have it. So it also qualifies to use 어떤 어떤. Done and gone. 괜찮아요. So both work. 그래서 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. 여러분, 이거 많이 써요. This we use a lot. When somebody gave you something and it's something that you wanted for a long time. 내가 원했던 거야. It's something I wanted. 내가 너무 원했던 거야. 내가 원하던 거야. 많이 써요. 고마워. 내가 진짜 원하던 거야. 내가 진짜 원했던 거야. 이렇게 써요. 선물 받을 때. When you get gifts, this is really useful. 많이 써요. 자, one more example. Same thing. 고 싶다. 원하다는 usually without a specific verb. I want world peace. 저는 세계 평화를 원해요. I want love. 사랑을 원해요. If you use a verb, I want to have something. I want to go somewhere. We use 고 싶다. 고 싶다 써요. 원하다 잘 안 써요. We don't use 원하다 much with verbs. 그래서 고 싶던 plus noun or 고 싶었던 plus noun. Both are used. The noun that I wanted to. 예요. 볼게요. 자, read with me. 같이 읽어요. When you received perfume gift. 향수 선물 받았을 때 제가 갖고 싶던 향수예요. This is the same translation as the previous slide. This is the perfume that I've wanted to have. 제가 원하던 향수예요. 제가 갖고 싶던 향수예요. For a long time. It lasts for a long time. No more because I have it now. 그쵸? 그러면 how would you say with 어떤 어떤? Ready? 준비됐어요? 시작. 제가 갖고 싶었던 싶었던 향수예요. 제가 너무 갖고 싶었던 향수예요. 이제 안 갖고 싶어해요. Now you are not wanting it because you have it. 있으니까요. Because I have it. So no more. Same example as the previous one. 그쵸? Can you upload the live stream afterwards? 네, 저장할게요. I'll save it. Teacher, are you planning on making more lives? 네, 라이브 계속 할 거예요. 네, the perfume I wanted. 갖고 싶던 향수. 갖고 싶었던 향수. 둘 다 괜찮아요. 자, okay. So far, both work. 지금까지는 둘 다 쓸 수 있었어요. 그죠? 옛날 이야기, talking about old days. 추억 이야기, talking about memories. 그리고 I've wanted this. I've been doing this for a long time and no longer. 지금은 안 해요. The commonality there is all in the past, right? You can use either. So don't worry about it too much. Now, 이제 잘 보세요. When it's incomplete, ongoing, and it got interrupted in the middle, so it's not happening anymore, no more. But it wasn't finished. It was ongoing, and it got interrupted. In this case, only one, we can use only one for this, which is done. I was doing something and something else happened. 그러면 done만 쓸 수 있어요. 어떤, 어떤 안 돼요. Because at that past tense suffix has completion meaning. 끝났어요. at. 그래서 안 돼요. So excited that you want to do more live streams. I really like them and watch them regularly. 감사합니다. I know you did actually. I'll keep doing that again. 여러분 다시 할게요. Okay, so 하다, to do. 하던 something. Something that I was doing. I didn't finish it and something else happened. 하고 있었어요. 안 끝냈어요. 근데 다른 일이 생겼어요. 이럴 때 써요. One more self-promotion. If you take my classes, I explain a lot of things in Korean. If it's beginning level, I say in beginning level. If it's in low intermediate level, I say it in lower intermediate level. So you practice listening a little more. During live, I can't do that because people from different proficiency level watch it. So I say more in English, but if you come to my classes, more stuff is talked about in Korean. 자, 좀 늦어서 피곤해요. 자야 되면 자세요, 달리아님. 제가 이거 저장할게요. I'll save this. 본인님 알고 있어요. 그쵸? 오케이. Hello. 따르릉 따르릉. 옛날 사람. I'm an old person. 이거 알아요, 여러분? Do you know this? 요즘 젊은 사람들은, MZ들은 이렇게 안 한대요. I heard the Gen Z and young people nowadays don't do hand gesture of this as phone. 이렇게 한대요. Because they only used cell phones. 나는 이렇게 하는데. I do this like old phone. 잘래요, 유리님. 탈리아님, 유리님, 안 돼요. 가지 마세요. Don't go. Actually, I will finish within like 20 minutes. 그쵸? 여보세요? 아니야. 나도 MG. 여보세요? 했어요? What were you doing? 친구가 전화했어요. Hey, what were you doing? 이렇게 해요. 뭐 하던 중이었어? Because the friend knows that she or he interrupted when they called. So what were you in the middle of doing when I called you? 그러면 뭐 하던 중이었어? 타이포가 있네요. 중이었어. 그죠? 중었어 아니고 중이었어. 가지 마세요. 곧 끝날 거예요. We'll finish soon. Okay, 중이었어. 뭐 하던 중이었어? Here, you can't say 뭐 했던 중이었어. Because 했어요, past tense suffix means you were done. But 중 means you're in the middle of it. 말이 안 되죠? It doesn't make sense. So you can't use it. Only done 중이었어요. 안 갈래요, 그럼. 한 20분? About 20 minutes? Okay. I was just on my phone. 여러분, 이거 엄청 유용하죠? This is really useful. Another typo. 죄송해요. 나 그냥 폰 하던 중이었어. 폰 하다 is to be on the phone. 그냥 폰 하고 있었어. 폰 하던 중이었어. And I got interrupted because you called me. 그쵸? 그러면 하던, 했던 안 돼요. 하던. When the action was incomplete, ongoing only, done is used. 그래서 in the middle of an action, did not finish it, only done. 또 볼게요. 먹다. 천천히 하세요, 선생님. 괜찮아요? 자, 먹다, to eat. 먹던 something that I was eating. I didn't finish and something else happened. 이렇게 할 때. Okay, let's read together. 하나, 둘, 셋. 이거 누가 먹던 거야? This, who was eating? This is the thing who was eating. 그죠? 이거 누가 subject 먹던 거. The thing that was in the middle of eating. 그럼 이거예요, 여러분. 테이블에 먹던 피자가 있어요. There's like half of pizza left. Apparently somebody was eating this. 그러면 이거 누가 먹던 거야? What is the how would you even translate this word by word? Is this a thing who was eating? Who was eating this? So, this, 여러분, remember it as a chunk. Because if you want to translate, it doesn't work. 번역이 잘 안 돼요. 누가 먹던 거야? Who was eating this? 자, 내가 먹던 거야. It was the thing I was eating in the middle. 내가 먹던 거야. 먹다가 in the middle of eating 전화 와서 깜빡했네. I was in the middle of eating and I got a phone call, so I forgot. 예요. 저는 음식 훔치셨던 분? 음식 훔쳤어요? You stole the food? 나빠. 그래서 다 안 먹었어요. 먹고 있었어요. 근데 전화가 왔어요. 그러면 먹던 거예요. 먹던 거. Something that somebody was eating and didn't finish. 예요. 자, 또 볼게요. 가다. All these easy verbs. So memorize this and use them as a chunk. 자, 가던 something. Look at this. 길에서 이웃을 만났어요. Let's do this before we move on. 오웬님's question is awesome to practice sentence making. 여러분, 라이브 시작했을 때 뭐 하던 중이었어요? 여러분, 자, let's have 하다 again. What were you in the middle of doing when live started today? Let's make a sentence. 여러분, 라이브 시작했을 때 뭐 하던 중이었어요? 이야기해 주세요. And then we'll move on to that 가다, 가던 plus noun. 라이브 시작했을 때 뭐 하던 중이었어요? 본인님, 저는 원신이 뭐예요? 원신 하던 중이었어요? 원신이 뭐죠? 오타인 것 같은데? I think that's a typo. 원신이 뭘까요? 다른 분들은 뭐 하던 중이었어요? 유림님, 컵케이크 먹고 있었다. 그러면 컵케이크 먹던 중이었어요. I was in the middle of eating cupcake. 컵케이크 먹던 중이었어요. past tense. 그죠? I was in the middle. 탈리아님은 제가 운동하던 중이었어요. 좋았어요. 좋았어요. 좋아요. 오웬님, 저는 웹사이트를 개발하던 중이었어요. Wow, you're developing a website. Can you develop my website? It's existing but not developing anymore. 원신은 게임 이름이에요. 그러면 원신 게임 하던 중이었어요. 오케이. 좋아요. 저녁 먹던 중이었어요. 좋아요. 저녁 먹고 있었어요. 먹던 중이었어요. 세스님, 안녕하세요. 조용하게 있었네요. 조용하게 보던 중이었네요. You were in the middle of watching quietly. 게임 하던 중이었어요. 좋아요. Do we have to use 중이었어요? Because you are saying I was in the middle of doing something when live started. live가 past tense죠. It started an hour ago. So we use the past tense. 중이었어요. 중 means middle. So this is saying I was in the middle of doing something. 이에요. 자, 저는 이번 주에 할 일들 계획하고 정리하던 중이었어요. I was planning and organizing things to do this week. 좋아요. 좋아요. 잘했어요, 여러분. 그러면 우리 가다 한번 볼까요? 게임 경기 보던 중이었어요. 아마 저희 남편도 지금 그 풋볼 보는 중인 것 같아요. I think he's probably watching football game. 아닌가? 아니에요. 8시라고 했던 거 같아. I think he said 8 o'clock. 자, 그러면 가던 볼게요. 자, 길 가고 있었어요. You were walking on the street, going somewhere. 근데 이웃을 만났어요. You ran into your neighbor and they were going somewhere. They were on their way going somewhere. In the middle, ongoing. And then meeting happened, right? Running into each other happened. 스테파니님, 구실을 하던 중이었어요. 구실이 뭘까요? 구실, what's 구실? Okay, so when you want to say, are you going somewhere? Were you in the middle of going somewhere? Were you on the way going somewhere? This is how you say. 어디 가던 길이세요? 어디 가던 길이세요? 길, way. So on the way, right? Going somewhere. 어디 가던 길이세요? 이렇게 말해요. So remember this too. 자, 그래서 이웃이 말해요. So the neighbor answers. I was in the middle of going to supermarket and I met you. 그쵸? 슈퍼에 가던 길이에요. 슈퍼에 가던 길이에요. 이렇게 해요. 잘 지내세요? Are you doing well? 자, okay. Can I just say 하는 중이었어요. 네, 괜찮아요. That's okay too. So that's the difficult thing about Korean grammar, right? Because this works too, that works too. That's the difference. And that's the difficulty too. Yeah, you can say I was doing. So if I say 저녁 먹는 중이었어요, that'll be like I was in the middle of eating dinner, right? 괜찮아요. 저녁 먹던 중이었어요. It was like going on for a longer time. So 먹던 중이었어요, and then it got interrupted. It kind of got stopped. That's the 던 meaning. Used to, no longer kind of thing. But you can use both. 자. 그래서 tax. You are doing taxes. So 세금 신고 is reporting tax. 세금 신고하던 중이었어요. 이렇게 해요. We have to do that too. 저희도 해야 돼요. 그래서 in the middle of. Okay, one thing 여러분. 보세요. 중요해요. This is important. The neighbor was in the middle of going to the supermarket, but did they go? 슈퍼 갔어요? When they met you? Did they already go to the supermarket? 안 갔죠? Not yet. They were on their way. 그쵸? So, that's why we only use done because it was incomplete and it was still ongoing. That's why you cannot use 갔던 because 갔던 past tense also indicates finished. That's the difference. 자. 유림님, but 는 refers to present. 네, present as in, so you are saying I was in the middle of doing something, right? So like in a neutral way, you can say 는 중 and then just change 이에요, 이었어요 to the past tense as well. Almost like a fixed idiomatic expression. But when you want to add that past tense meaning, instead of 는, you can use 던. That's why both are okay. 자, got done. 뭐가 done? It's done. 맞아요. 너무 웃기다. 자, 갈게요. Opposite. Got it? 좋아요. So, done, you can only use done if it's incomplete or ongoing, and you cannot use 어떤, 했던. 그쵸? 근데 it's complete. You want to say it's complete and it's all bygone, in the past. Then we use 어떤, 했던. I'll show you. This is easier to look at the example. Okay, 자, same thing. 가다 볼게요. When will you say 갔던 instead of 가던, right? Here. 이 식당 가봤어? 여기 진짜 맛있어. Have you been to this restaurant? This place? So good. 자, 친구가 여기 내가 지난주에 갔던 데야. Here, this place, last week, went there, the place. It is the place that I went last week. Here. Earlier in the table, I said, if it's at a specific time, one moment, then you have to say 어떤, 했던. Like past tense, 갔어요. 지난주에 갔어요. Same thing. 지난주에 갔던 데야. Because you said specifically last week, we only use 갔던 데야. Okay? 여기가 내가 말했던 거기야. 여러분, this is really useful. Here is there that I talked about. This is the place that I told you about before. This is how you say, 여러분. This is the place I told you about. 여기가 내가 말했던 거기야. 그러면, you know, 여기 is here, 거기 is there, right? And 이거 is this, 저거 or 그거 is that. Using this, make a sentence. 문장 만들어 보세요. This is what I told you about. And this is what I told you about at a specific moment, not for a long time. You can't say for a long time, for like weeks, right? You'll die. You told your friend at a specific time, like 2 weeks ago or last week when you went there. Maybe the next day on the phone, you told them. So specific moment, short period, one-time thing, we use 갔던. Remember 갔어요. 지난주에 갔어요. 제가 말했어요. Right? And you just change that to 갔던, 말했던. Yeah. In this case, if it happened one time at a particular moment instead of for a long time repeatedly, we use 어떤, 어떤. And we don't use regular 던. Okay? This is how I want you to remember. If it's complete at a particular moment, you cannot use 던. Okay? If it was in the middle, ongoing, you cannot use 어떤, 어떤. Okay? Okay, so how would you say this is what I told you about? So this place is the place that I told you about. 여기가 내가 말했던 거기야. Copy this sentence structure and now change the place to thing. Instead of 여기, use 이거. Instead of 거기, use 그거. And you can say, this is that thing that I told you about. This is what I told you about. 어떻게 할까요? 여기가 내가 말했던 거기야. And we change two things and it'll become 이거가, which shortens to 이게. If it's friend, 내가. If it's not, 제가 말했던 그거예요. or 거예요 괜찮아요. 이게 제가 말했던 그거예요. This is that thing that I told you about. 이게 내가 말했던 그거야. Can I just say 말했던 거야? Yes. Okay, the difference, 여러분, if you say 이게 내가 말했던 거야. 이게 제가 말했던 거예요. This is the thing I told you about. This is what I told you about. If you say 이게 내가 말했던 그거야. This is that thing that I told you about. So similar, right? You can use both. 둘 다 괜찮아요? So this is the usage. And again, remember this as a chunk and use it. I told you that this is what I told you about. 이게 내가 말했던 거야. 내가 말했던 그거야 at that specific time in the past. Remember? Yeah. So action that happened at a specific moment, just one time, and it's gone and done and finished. 어떤, 어떤. Compare. 비교해 보세요. Alright. 여기 내가 전에 자주 가던 데야. This is where I used to go often before. Long time ago. Remember when you're talking about long time ago, memories, you can use both. Then you can use both. 제가 자주 가던 데예요. 제가 자주 갔던 데예요. 괜찮아요. Past tense. And because when you're talking about it, I used to go here often. It's not one time, but it happened every weekend. Our family went there to eat dinner, stuff like that. And no longer used to, so both qualify. 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. But if you are specifically saying last week, last year, yesterday, then you need the past tense. 갔어요. 먹었어요. Okay? 자, here. 보세요. Now. Now this is same as regular 은. Noun modifying form. 여기 내가 지난주에 간 데야. This is the place I went. Regular, not like 영어도 그래요. English the same. You don't say this is the restaurant I used to go yesterday. 이상하죠? How many times did you go yesterday? You just say I went yesterday. 한국어도 똑같아요. Same in Korean. This is the place I went. Clean. Went is 갔어요. 갔던 데야 or 간 데야. If you say 가던 데야, it cannot be just yesterday, right? Like long time ago, many times we did. Old memories. 그래서 그래요. That's why. 여기가 내가 말한 거기야. Same as 말했던 거기야. 괜찮아요? So 했던 and 한 are used interchangeably. If you're talking about a particular time, you did that. Yeah. 그래서 verb past tense noun modifying form 은 하고 아주 비슷해요. Very similar. One more time. 말하다, because this is useful. 말했던 something that I told you about, something that I talked about. Do you remember what I told you yesterday? Specifically yesterday, just one time past action. 어제 내가 말했던 거 기억나? Do you remember what I told you yesterday? 기억하세요. Remember as a chunk. 내가 말했던 거 기억나? Do you remember what I told you? 예요. 아, 그 전화로 이야기했던 거? What you told me over the phone? 전화로 이야기했던 거? 저 because it's 어제 specifically happened just one time. Just one time thing. 그러면 했던 거예요. You can't use 하던 거 here. How many times can you do 어제? 그렇죠? 그래서 this is same as 어제 내가 말한 거 기억나? Just simple past tense noun modifying form. 전화로 이야기한 거 이렇게 똑같아요. Same. These two are the same. 자, this is last example, and then we're gonna make a sentence. 자, 울다 to cry. 저 울었던 plus noun이에요. Earlier, specifically when I saw you crying earlier today. 아까 왜 울었던 거야? Why was it that you cried earlier? Why did you cry earlier? And 거야 we used to focus on the action itself. Why was it that you cried? 아까 왜 울었던 거야? 자, 지금 안 울어요. It's done. 자, 왜 울었던 거야? So action that happened and it's finished. 어떤 The reason why we cannot say 울던 거야 is because that particular moment I saw you just one time. That's why we can't use 던. We use past tense. 자, so same as verb past tense. So you can say 아까 왜 운 거야? 리을 울다. 리을 is irregular. If there is 니은 that follows, it drops. So instead of 울는 거야, 운 거야. Instead of 울은 거야, 운 거야. 아까 왜 운 거야? 아까 왜 울었던 거야? 이렇게 말해요. Thank you so much for this lesson. You're so very welcome and thank you for coming. 저도 와주셔서 감사합니다. 자, practice, 연습해요. Look at this picture. And I want to say this. This is the picture we took in Korea. Recalling memories. Oh, last fall when we went to Korea, we took this picture. Hey, look. Talking about my trip, my memory, my experience. How would you write this in Korean? 한국어로 어떻게 할까요? I have a sentence and I want you to choose between 던 and 어떤, 어떤. So if you are advanced, 조금 잘해요, 중급이에요, cover the half of the video with your hand to not see Korean sentence. 이렇게 가리세요, cover it. If just making sentences is too advanced, here is the full sentence. Just choose one of these. Which one will be the right one to use? I am not going to read the sentence so people who are covering don't get spoilers. 역시 우리 쌤 최고 감사합니다. 한국에서 찍었던 사진 유림님 said. 세스님's laughing at my picture. 왜 웃어요? 왜? 뭐가 웃겨? What's funny? What happened in the third picture? 좋아요. 한국에서 찍었던 사진이에요. Because I took it at a particular moment, right? And it's done. So just like 찍었어요, that day, 찍었던 사진이에요. 잘했어요, 여러분. So you could also say the regular past tense, 찍은 사진이에요도 괜찮아요. You can also use that. 자, 2개 더 있어요. I have 2 more or 3 more. 2개, 3개 더 있어요. Second one, 귀엽죠? So we were picking out the hairbands, 뭐 쓸지 보다가 제가 남편한테 이 리본을 씌웠어요. I put this ribbon on his bow on his head and he accepted it. So 시키는 대로 해서 쓰고 찍었어요. 자, 그 다음 거. 맛있겠다. This is what I ate lasting. This was my last meal in Korea. This is what I ate last in Korea. 자, 가리세요. Block it if you don't want to see the Korean sentence structure. And if you need help, look at it and just choose which one. So in Korean word order, it'll be in Korea, set the setting first, for last, thing, what I ate. 어떻게 할까요? This is what I ate last in Korea. It's the last meal in Korea. 거의 다 했어요, 여러분. About maybe 10 minutes will end. 어떻게 하면 좋을까요? So, at last, as the last thing is 마지막. So, as last thing, 마지막으로. 한국에서 마지막으로 먹었던 음식이에요. or 먹었던 거예요. 좋아요. And you can also say 먹은 거예요. The regular past tense. 그쵸? 먹었던 거예요. I am talking about my memory showing. So this is how you use it. Show a video or a thing. I bought this in Italy. 이탈리아에서 산 거야. 샀던 거야. So when you're talking about your memory, we use this ton a lot because you're recalling that memory, the meaning of 더. And because it's not like it got interrupted in the middle, or it's not like a long time period thing, we only use the past tense. 먹었던 거예요. 먹은 거예요. 좋아요. 자, this is when I used to live in Hawaii. This picture right here, this is when I used to live in Hawaii. How would you say this in Korean? 한국어로 이거 어떻게 말할까요? 자, 중급, 고급 분들은 문장 보지 말고 만들어 보세요. Intermediate and advanced learners try to make sentences without looking at this. Cover it. 가리세요. 초중급 분들은 high beginner to low intermediate, you can just choose, study the sentence structure here. So this is the time that I lived in Hawaii, that I used to be in Hawaii. 어떻게 할까요? 이 사진이 제 그 페이스북에서 옛날 사진이 떴어요. The memories, old pictures popped up on my Facebook, and this was 2011, 2012, 2011. 12년 전, 12 years ago. 자, 이 사진은, or just omit the subject because we know what we're talking about. In Hawaii, 하와이에 or 하와이에서 괜찮아요. For living. 하와이에 What do you think? 살던 때예요? 살았던 때예요? 둘 다 돼요. Both work. Remember, old memories, don't worry, just use both. So, and it's not like a specific time. There's no specific time, just, before. 살았던 때예요, 살던 때예요, 괜찮아요. So one thing you don't have to worry about is, this is the school I used to go. This picture is when I used to live in Hawaii. Those kind of sentences, just use either. 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. 이거는 하자이에 살던 때예요. 하와이에 살던 때예요. 하와이에 살았던 때예요. 둘 다 괜찮아요. 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. 그러면 마지막 퀴즈, last quiz. This one, but let's look at this part. So living in Hawaii lasts for a long time period. It's not like 2012, March 15th. Just that particular time. 아니죠, for a long time. So yes, you can use ton because it's continuous, repeated, ongoing thing. And then it not realized, but it ended, right? I don't live in Hawaii anymore. It's done. So you could also use the past tense 어떤. That's why. 오해님, 산때 괜찮아요. 이거 하와이의 산때예요. 괜찮아요. That also works too. 근데 살다, to live, 다니다, to attend, 키우다, like 강아지 키워요, 고양이 키워요. Because it happens for a long period of time, naturally when you're recalling that time, people use 던 the most. 자, 제가 다니던 학교예요. 제가 살던 집이에요. 이렇게 많이 해요. 자, 마지막 last one. 나은이에요. My niece. Some of you already know. 저 나은이 아시죠? Okay. I miss the moments that I played with my niece. I miss those moments that I was playing with her. And she's in Korea. I'm back in the US, so no longer can play with her right now. 그쵸? 이거 어떻게 할까요? Is it lagging again? 또 안 돼요? 또 버퍼링이에요? 이거 어떻게 할까요? 자, 중급, 고급인 분들 가리세요. Advanced learners cover this. 초중급인 분들 use this sentence structure and choose which one. To miss something that you no longer have, you use 그리워요. 그립다, 그리워요. And niece or nephew, 조카예요, 조카. So with niece or nephew, 조카랑. And then moment, 순간이에요, 순간. Okay. This is great to talk about. 유림님, 보고 싶다. 여러분, 보고 싶다. I miss you. 보고 싶어예요. 근데 literal meaning of it is I want to see you. Literally, I want to see you. That's why I miss you, right? But if it's not like I want to see you, I miss those times from the past that I don't have anymore. We use 그리워요. That's the difference between 보고 싶어요 and 그리워요, which are both translated as I miss in Korean, in English. 그래서 이거는 자, 나은이랑 it's not one time because I was in Korea. That's why I put moments. Not one time, but all those moments that I played with 나은이. So we use 던. 괜찮아요. 그죠? And also no longer. It's in the past. So you can also use 놀았던. Again, I'm talking about my past time memories. Use both. 조카랑 나은이랑 놀던 순간들이 그리워요. 나은이랑 놀았던 순간들이 그리워요. 둘 다 괜찮아요. 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. 그렇죠? Just talking about past time, you can use both. 둘 다 쓸 수 있어요. Both works here. 맞아요. 자, 오케이, 여러분. 그래서 이게 끝이에요. So this is the end of today's class. And hopefully this clarifies some of the confusion about done versus 어떤, 어떤. 자, 지금까지 했던 거 중에 among what we studied so far 질문 있으세요? Do you have a question? 지금까지 공부했던 거 중에 질문 있으세요? Any questions? 그리고 again, please consider joining my classes. If this 던, 어떤, 어떤 is your level, low intermediate will be your level. And low intermediate is more like topic based. So we talk about how to talk about your childhood, which 던, 어떤, 어떤 is introduced, or 고는 했어요 as well. And then how to talk about Korean dramas, how to talk about cultural difference and such. If this class was a little too difficult, maybe high beginner will be good for you. And you'll learn how to say, I have done this, I want to go somewhere, I have to go somewhere, and how to make complex sentences, high beginner. Yeah? So consider joining my class where I speak more Korean than on YouTube Live. And again, remember, please don't forget, this is coming soon, one-on-one sessions. I'll announce all on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube community, and such. And I will also share my former students' reviews about my classes to help anybody who's thinking about it to decide. 자, 감사합니다, 여러분. 즐거웠어요? 다행이에요. 고생 많으셨습니다. 감사합니다. 좋은 하루 보내세요. 감사합니다. 감사합니다. 여러분, 감사합니다. 여러분도 수고 많이 하셨어요. 잘 설명하셔서 질문이 없습니다. 다행이에요. 그러면 오늘은 여기까지 하고요. 다음 주에는 아마 일요일에 할 수 있을 것 같아요. 저희 남편이랑 저랑 다음 주에 여행을 갔다가 올 거예요. 제가 겨울을 진짜 싫어해요. 너무 싫어요. I really hate winter. My husband says I have a seasonal depression. 제가 계절 우울증이 있는 것 같아요. So I get really depressed in winter. If there is sun, I get up, I do house chores, I work out. If there's no sun, I'm like, 좀비예요, 좀비. 그래서 he had a week off and we originally were gonna just stay home, but we decided let's go get some sun. So we're gonna take a you love winter. So we're gonna take a trip and we'll be back on Saturday. So no Saturday live, and I'll do maybe Sunday. And I am thinking one of the things you really loved was sentence making practice. I'm thinking maybe that's something we can do. 어때요? 문장 만들기 해볼까요? Have you watched my previous lives where we did the sentence making? Then you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, basically I give you English sentence, you translate it into Korean. So maybe we can do that. And I'll have from beginning to more advanced. That's what I am thinking. 그러면 어떨까 생각 중이에요. 네, 감사합니다. 세스님, 평소처럼 좋았어요. 라이브를 원하던 세스님, 행복하셨으면 좋겠어요. 고생 많이 하셨습니다. 다음에 뵙겠습니다. 네, 감사합니다. Thank you so much. It was incredible, helpful. 감사합니다. 자러 갈 거예요. 자, 얼른 자러 가세요. Go sleep. 좋아요. I love winter. 저는 겨울이 너무 싫어요. Yes, sentence making. 좋아요, 좋아요. 여행 잘 다녀오세요. 다치지 말고. 너무 스윗해요. So sweet. 감사합니다. Sentence making practice always good. 네, 저도 좋아요. 저도 재미있어요. 오케이, 그러면 일주일 잘 보내시고 다음 주에 우리 문장 만들기 연습해요. 수고하셨습니다. 안녕히 계세요.